I got a grappling hook. What are you gonna do about it?
Rock and stone, everyone. Welcome back to the Hopeless Hobby Addict. This is my revised episode 3 for my How to Paint Deep Rock Galactic series featuring the Scout. We're going to be doing some slap chop, Army Painter Speedpaint Original, Army Painter Speedpaint 2.0, and a few other tweaks and tricks. Links will be below as always, so hop around to your heart's content. If this video is of value to you and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider helping my little channel grow. Every sub is appreciated greatly. So I'm going to cue up some new cheesy 80s music I made, and let's get going. So I'm going to forego showing you the whole slap chop process. We've covered this a few times already in prior videos, and there's a ton of it on the internet. We're going to use a new Army Painter Speedpaint 2.0 color, Peachy Flesh, to get his face here. I do actually like this one fairly well. As always, if you're an original Speedpaint user, Crusader skin works just fine as well. Now for his beard, I'm going to use the new Ancient Honey from the Army Painter Speedpaint 2.0 and the new Bright Red in a 2:1 ratio. It's kind of a, fiery, gingery beard here. If you just have original colors, be sure to check out the original video of this that was all done with Army Painter Speedpaint 1.0. I think it was Fire Giant orange and Zealot yellow in that one with a particular ratio as well. But for the beard, I did like how it came out with this new 2.0 version. So I'm going back and using hardened leather, which is one of the original Speedpaint colors. I was fairly disappointed it was not included in the twice as expensive new mega set. If you haven't seen my little overview video on that, I did earlier this week. I'll put a link above as well. So I went back to the original Speedpaints for this color. They are releasing it. You can pre-order it now in the $379 set. But, eventually they'll sell singles, and maybe that's when I'll come back and fill out my collection with a newer version of these original colors. For his trousers and his shirt, we went with Magic Blue, Army Painter Speedpaint. In this case, I did actually stick with the original version of Speedpaint. I did a comparison recently, part of that review video I did on the Mega Set as well, and they were very close. The Magic Blues were both just about spot on. So I'm trying out one of the new Army Painter Speedpaint 2.0 metallics. This is Talos bronze. I hit the inner part of those kneecap pads, what would be the steel-toed boots, I guess. We're making these kind of a coppery-toed boot. And I'll also get the inner part of the shoulder pads, leaving that outer line to use a different color on. So prior I would have used plate mail, probably for a metallic coating, and then put sand golem Army Painter Speedpaint over it to create a dark gold effect. Here I'm using the new Hoplite Gold from Army Painter Speedpaint 2.0, and I do actually like this one. It was easier than doing the multi-phase process, and went on smooth, had good coverage. So this one I give a thumbs up to out of the new mega set I got. I also decided to do the handle of the pickaxe. You can also see here the gun also kind of has that gold trim on a fair amount of it. So I decided to go over some of the gun as well here. Picture also showed some gold metallics on that little raised part on the back of his gloves, so I also hit those with the Hoplite Gold. The third color that came in my mega set with the Army Painter Speedpaint 2.0 was this Broadsword Silver. Think of it as a really dark gunmetal, or almost like gunmetal with the black wash on it maybe. I wouldn't use it for a shiny suit of plate mail. I believe the $379 set does have some other ones that would work for that, but I tried it out here for anything metallic on this guy that wasn't in the gold or Talos bronze color. Went back and decided to hit the little round caps on all the grenades with some of this Hoplite Gold as well, just kind of as a little accent color. I did some Grim Black on that top middle section of the shotgun there. I'm going to come back and do some highlighting over that later though. And I got down in the little cartridge loading chamber there on the side with some of the Grim Black. So for the gloves and pouches, I wanted to do a slightly different color than the straight up hard leather. So I did a 2-to-1 mix of Army Painter Original hard leather and dark wood. I also decided to get the leather on the boots as well with this color. I try to leave most of the straps that wrap around the leg unpainted here though, because I ultimately decided to come back later and just do straight up hard leather on those. So here I'm going back with hardened leather, and I'm hitting all these straps holding the various pouches and knee pads, etc. on his pants, just so we have a variety of browns. Break things up here. I also make sure to get that little loop across the hand grenades. Now we go back and start doing the highlights and accents. I use some Army Painter Warpaint plate mail metal, and I just do a tiny bit of Vallejo thinner medium just to make it a real thin, easy to work with metallic. Just puts a real thin coat over everything that way. Shines up edges when I hit them. You know, good for highlights and things. All the little buttons and buckles, all those little bolts on the shoulder pads. There are 2 on each one. Also decided to go around the sides of the hand grenades, hit those with some of this silver as well, brighten them up. I spend some time picking out all those little sharp edges on anything metallic. Pickaxes, the light fixture on the shoulder, the headbands, you know, the sight on the gun. Just give them a good once over. Find all those little metallic spots that should shine. I also hit the top of that gun where I went over it with Grim Black earlier. The Grim Black stays down in the recesses, and then I go over the top part of it with the plate mail as well to make that more metallic. So for the base, if you recall from the revised Gunner, episode 1 I released recently, well maybe it's been a few weeks actually, I wanted to start matching the rocks and these bases with the color of the in-game tiles, which are very much a tan, earthy tone. So I go with Vallejo game color earth for my initial kind of coating and slathering, pseudo dry brushing. I then start to dry brush in khaki, also a Vallejo game color mixed in with that. There are certainly substitutes for these in the Army Painter line as well, but I've been wanting to branch out and play with some of my other paint sets lately as well. Then I transition from the khaki and earth to a dry brush of pure khaki. And then finally we lighten that up with some white for a final dry brush layer. Then for the base, my Daler-Rowney black ink as always, and a little drop of matte medium just to make it a little duller. Just try to look out for the boots and not get it on the base of that rock. I decided to come back with some Grim Black and try to just barely skirt around those soles of the boot. Just be very careful on that rock if you've already dry brushed. In hindsight, I should have done this first and then dry brushed, so a little precarious here. But not the first time I go out of order in my life on painting minis. We're going to try something a little new here today too. I took some Army Painter basing glue and coated up the base. And I had some basing materials. They weren't Army Painter. I think they were just some random ones I picked up at the Michael's Hobby Store. They were in with like the scenery making stuff for the model railroad type things. But there were these bigger, almost like tan colored cork pieces and this little fine grained gravelly stuff. I think this was supposed to be like the beds on the train tracks or something like that. But in this case, they actually fit the color of the game and the board and that rock I dry brushed. So voila. So here are the final shots. The one on the left was the original episode 1 with my red nitro rock. The middle one was just my stand-in dummy as I painted this revision. And the one on the right is the final model. Overall, I'm a lot happier with how this one came out. I got to play with some new things. I'm starting to enjoy basing more. As always, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was worth your time to view and gives you some ideas on how to paint up your minis with Deep Rock. This has been a lot of fun for me. Yes, I did skip episode 2 revision because I've been using the speed paint, so we will circle back to the driller here very soon and the engineer. I'm just kind of playing with some new colors from the Speedpaint 2.0 to mix things up a bit when I do these, so they're worth everyone's time. Thanks for stopping by. See you soon.